If no question, let me elaborate today's talk some points that are important. If you notice in our talks, we always emphasize how to experience or how to apply your theoretical knowledge in your experiences of meditation, and the importance of this so-called being to be fully understood as Nama and Rupa and five aggregates and the spiritual strive for deliverance. We emphasize because with interview of our meditators, most meditators are confused in their practice how to observe the object. I've been confused between the two types of meditation, and that too we are explaining every now and then, and almost always targeting these to solve the problem or this confusion between samatha or tranquility meditation and vipassana or insight meditation. So in insight meditation, we emphasize to develop wisdom. In samatha or tranquility meditation, the main emphasis is to develop concentration. So this must be clearly understood from the very beginning. So not that we don't need concentration, we need concentration, but we don't need concentration strong enough to condense the mind into one-pointedness, which we call appana samadhi or jhana. Appana samadhi is translated in English as one-pointedness. The mind becomes one-pointed. And another word, as you all know, concentrate means any immersion, if it is concentrated, it is gradually the thicker the fluid becomes, it is immovable. So when the mind becomes concentrated, the mind cannot move. And vipassana, as I said, our emphasis is to develop wisdom. So mindful, we emphasize mindfulness. Sati is translated as mindfulness. Mindfulness means mind must be fully aware of the object. Fully aware means to understand all the things that has to be understood in your object. So that is the main important thing. Most people are just sitting with the mind when you ask, so what happened at the time? This mind is void. Void means they don't know anything, just sitting there like statues. So that is either sloth and torpor or one-pointed concentration, so not gaining any wisdom. So vipassana, we here to weep, the word, Pali word vipassana. Vipassana means watching or contemplating or pondering or observing or being aware or knowing the object. That is vipassana. We means, the right translation is in many ways or special ways or strange ways, meaning full understanding. In other words, Buddha sometimes described as sambhajanya. Sambhajanya means clear comprehension of the object and all possible knowledge or all possible insight one can gain, that one must be able to observe the object. Here, to worthy of notice, Pali word jnana, in English, wisdom or knowledge. You can see there are three types of knowledge in the world. One is Suttamaya jnana. Sutta means directly is hearing, because in the olden days there is no printing sciences yet developed at that time. Most knowledge are learned by hearing of the talks and committing to memory. So actually the Sudamya Jnana means, and with our now recent days we call it general knowledge, the knowledge we gain by either reading or reading books or listening to talks, live talks, or nowadays tapes and discs, CDs and MP3 and all that. So many second-hand knowledge or hearsay, you learn what other people, not like now, what you all are gaining from my talk is this Sudamya Jnana, by listening to talk. So that is the first type of knowledge. Then the second type of knowledge is Chintamaya Jnana and Palivat. Palivat Chintamaya means like philosophers, by thinking, expounding theories and this and that, then they gain knowledge. Like the scientist Newton, while he is walking nearby an apple tree, the apple falls from the tree towards the earth. And he started thinking, and this apple, when it's stalking on tree, it doesn't fall. When it is loosened from the stalk, why it should fall towards the earth? Oh, there must be some pulling force in the earth, and he expounded this gravitational theory. So that type of knowledge is we call Chintamaya Jnana. By thinking you gain the knowledge. This is the second type. And the third type of jnana or knowledge is Bhavanamaya Jnana. And this is the most important part. Bhavana means this vipassana bhavana. By your own intuitive personal knowledge, you gain by developing or by practicing meditation. Yes, this we call Bhavanamaya Jnana. This is true insight. So never forget, when you meditate, you must develop this Bhavanamaya Jnana. Either if you experience or you realize by itself, or you must be verifiable. Your theoretical knowledge which you gain by listening to Dhamma talks, you should verify in your meditational experience. That will be the Bhavanamaya Jnana. So that is what is meant by vipassana means. Insight. Meditation is to experience, to realize the experiential knowledge by developing, and that knowledge we call Bhavanamaya Jnana. And that we've been all the time identifying for you how to watch. If it does not come by itself, this realization, you have to purposely apply your theoretical knowledge and observe in practical meditation, like so-called a person or a being. And spiritual practice, and the ultimate, we must stay on the ultimate reality. Ultimate reality is just nama and rupa, mind and matter. So in your meditation, you must be able to identify or verify your theoretical knowledge of mind and matter. Nama and rupa, so-called being, is just psychophysical complex. Physical complex is we call rupa, and psychic part is nama, mind and that matter and simple words. And this matter or rupa, material phenomena, and Abhidhamma Buddha has elaborated into 28 types of matter. Never mind. What we need to know to recognize rupa or matter in our meditation practices by the characteristics of four gross elements that constitute this physical body or rupa. Then the second element is Apo Dhatu. Apo is water element. Like we have tears, saliva, sweat, and when we go to toilet, urine. All these are water element. Water element is characteristic of trickling and cohesive property. So by this you can experience the water element. Then the third is tejo dhatu or heat element. Anybody, we can feel yourself, whether we feel hot or warm or cool. These are three stages of the same phenomena, what we call heat element, tejo dhatu. And the fourth one is vayo dhatu or wind element, when you are noting rising, falling. Rising, falling means the movement of the abdomen, or in walking meditation when you are noting the steps. Taking the step, either left step, right step, or lifting, putting down, lifting, moving. But this is the element of motion. Element of motion is the characteristic of vayo dhatu, or wind element. So you must be able to identify these four elements so that you can discard this erroneous view of Sakya deity. It is given as life and death emergency that we must be able to discard this Sakya deity. By Buddha giving example, a person pierced with spear in the heart and the chest, or hair burning. So it is a critical condition of life and death. So also, the first thing we must eliminate in meditation is this erroneous view of Sakya deity by analyzing ourselves into these four great elements. For clear understanding, Buddha gave a Baiti simile. He said, supposing a butcher dragging a cow towards the slaughterhouse to be killed, and on the way, if somebody asks, hey, what are you pulling? He said, I'm pulling a cow, because he's pulling a cow. And he pulled the cow to the slaughterhouse, he killed, and he decided into various bundles of meat or bones or viscera and other organs. Then he make into packings and come back to the bazaar, put on the table to sell. And at that time, if someone go and ask, hey, what are you selling? He won't say, I'm selling a cow. He say, I'm selling meat or bones or internal organs. Because he has lost the concept of the cow. Because there's no longer a cow. Only when he's pulling, before he decides that cow, he has the concept of cow. So that's why if you ask before his slaughter, he says, I'm pulling a cow. If you ask, what are you pulling? I'm pulling a cow. And after the second, if you go and ask, what are you selling? He won't say, I'm selling a cow. He says, I'm selling meat or bones, like that. So that's the benefit of our meditators, to be able to analyze or verify these four elements in our body. Because they are compounded together, we take it as this body as some solid person, atta or ego, and we become egoistic and selfish, and that creates a problem in life. So this is the most important step in our meditation, to dispel this Sakya deity, and by being able to identify Rupa side, although Nama and Rupa, mind and the metta, material phenomena can be identified by this. And mind you, just now I've said the knowledge, not just theoretical knowledge, you must be able to identify yourself and realize, convincingly realize these four elements in actual practice. Then the second part of so-called being, as I just now said, psychophysical complex, or mind and metta. So mind, let us study about the mind, the second part. So the first part, physical or Buddhist bodily phenomena, can be identified, verified, or recognized by these four characteristics of four gross elements. So also this mental part or the psychic part or the mind can be identified in 4 categories. Buddha has actually, and Abhidhamma Buddha classified this mind into 89 or 121 and many categories because his great wisdom is great wisdom. Never mind, for our meditation purpose, if we can identify this mind and the mental factor, Citta and Cetasika, that constitute ultimate reality, mind and the mental factor. 4. Mind is 1, mental factor 3. That is, 1 is Vedana. Paliwa Vedana means feeling or sensations that in our meditation we experience while sitting down. Sometimes we feel stiffness, sometimes pain, aches, tingling, numbness, itchiness, etc. All these are sensations or feelings. And in Pali what we call Vedana. So Vedana to Buddha classify into many categories, but if we can discern in our practice 3 types of Vedana, that is good enough. Even that 3 sometimes may not be easy. 3 are, 1 is Sukha Vedana, pleasurable sensation or pleasant sensation. Then second is Dukkha Vedana. Dukkha Vedana is unpleasant or unpleasurable sensation. And the third variety is Adukkama Sukha Vedana, meaning neither unpleasant nor pleasant sensation. And it is translated, if you read books, you find as neutral feeling or equanimous feeling or indifferent feeling. But these are misleading terms. Better to stick to this Pali word as Adukkama Sukha, neither pleasurable nor unpleasurable. But in actual practice of meditation, we can discern most easily is this Dukkha Vedana, unpleasant sensation, because it is very strong and excruciating sometimes, so it can attract the mind towards the object. Otherwise, our mind is like a Buddha said, monkey mind. It is hopping out from object to object. It tends to run away. But when we feel these unpleasant sensations, the mind cannot run. So the most easy to identify is this unpleasant sensation or dukkha vedana. So the rest too is by relativity we call. When this dukkha vedana gradually abate and fade away, then that is either sukha vedana or upekkha, adukkama sukha vedana. So, but if you can contemplate on dukkha vedana, this is good enough regarding this vedana. Then the second category is sanya. Pali word sanya means perception. Like as we are conditioned, we see things in the conventional world with conventional words like man, woman, cat, dog, a table, chair, or whatever with names we call. These are sanya. Sanya is like with modern example, the data you feed into the computer for future reference. So when we first come into contact with the outside world, we try to learn or we try to collect the data as much as possible. Like the clear example is the first time you see me, whether you know it or not, your mind has surveyed me, my characteristics, and already recorded. And next time when you see me, you immediately recognize that this is a monk, U Sunanda, like that. So that is the work of sanya. Sanya, and important is the commentaries, they give example of carpenters. Those days, carpenters, when they make, or they build houses or they make furniture, they had to mark the various sizes of wood into numbers, so that which place to cut and which place to straighten or to smoothen out, like that, so like a marking. So sanya means we collect the external data and store in our memory for future reference. That is the work of sanya. Is sankhara. Sankhara, if you know as volition or intention, which causes all our actions, intentional actions or volitional actions. That is sankhara. That's why you all are asked to be patiently watch when you want to make movements and changes and posture or in activities. Like when you want to get up from sitting to a standing position, calmly watch your mind. The desire to get up will arise and must make a mental note of that. This is, you are trying to identify the sankhara. Desire, Buddha said, the mind proceeds in every phenomena. The intention of life, the body itself cannot move like these tables. Because they don't have the mind, they cannot move unless you go and push or pull. So our body is, without the mind, it is like a statue or lifeless. Because of the mind wants to get up, then your body gets up. Because the mind wants to walk, the body walks. Because the mind wants to go to the toilet, the body goes to the toilet. So if you can watch or catch that one, you can verify or identify, you can experience on your own this sankhara. This is another cetasika, mental fighter, that accompany any citta. That's why they are called universals. Without these, the mind cannot arise also. So that's why actually there are 52 cetasikas according to Abhidhamma teaching. But Buddha isolated out these 3 cetasikas that accompany the mind for our meditators to be able to identify, because it is very glaring, very easy to identify if you just be mindful of your actions and your practice. So the fourth or the last one is vijnana. Vijnana means consciousness. It completes the whole process of this mental phenomena or nama. For easy understanding, the commentary explains like a cabinet in a government. The individual government ministers like health minister, education minister, finance minister, they work, they function in their own ministry. But finally they had to put up and either to the prime minister or in presidential countries to the president, who finalize the overall administration, and the job of the government is completed. So Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, these mental fighters, they function in their own capacity, finally to be appreciated or to be finalized by this vijnana or consciousness that we call consciousness or knowing. So that's how the 4 mental components can be identified. So these 4 are called, briefly they are termed as nama, and 4 gross elements constitute rupa. So briefly speaking, just mind and the metta or nama and rupa. For scholars who want to elaborate, these mental categories can be identified into 4 categories. 1 citta and 3 cetasika, 1 mind and 3 mental fighters, and 1 rupa. Rupa is rupa khanda, this physical body. Vedana khanda, feeling or sensations. Then sanya khanda, perception. Sankhara khanda, volition. And vijnana khanda, consciousness. That become 5 aggregates. What is in reality an ultimate truth? It is 5 aggregates or Panchupadanaka, and that we grasp or we cling to as I or mine. If somebody asks you, who are you? Oh, I am here. You point to the body. Because we grasp this body as I or mine. Oh, my memory is very good. And you are grasping perception as you or I or mine. So actually what an ultimate reality is these 5 aggregates, and we identify these 5 aggregates as somebody that is permanently existing all the time as I, and then that inflate our ego and create problem and life and we suffer. So just like that example of a butcher. After butchering, he lost the concept of the cattle as a whole. So we must be able to identify or verify these rupa and nama in our meditation so that we can eradicate this erroneous view of Sakadati. Idame Bonya Nibbanasa Pachayo Hodu Idame Bonya Yatinam Hodu Sukita Hondu Nyatayo Imano Punya Bhaga Sabha Satana Dema Sadhu. May you all be happy. May you all be healthy. May you all be free from suffering. May you all attain eternal peace or nirvana in the shortest possible time.